all of the things you have to share, I absolutely get energized. So tonight is Ask the Expert, but I'm going to teach a little bit of a class, which I was teaching this morning. And if you guys have any questions about grief, about a broken heart, then we're going to get into that with you today. My name is Sharon Brubaker, and I'm the owner of the Grief School. The Grief School is a private university and the place where healing begins. The Grief School started in 2007 after the tragic death of my nephew, Austin. He drowned at the lake in Lake Havasu, and on Father's Day weekend. It was through that experience that I started searching out grief and a broken heart and really started going after what happens in grief. Hey, Miss Becky, what happens in a broken heart? I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for the likes. I love it, love it, love you. There are no grief stages. There are no timelines, just reality. My name is Sharon Brubaker, and I'm going to answer any questions that you guys have tonight about grief. Any questions you have tonight about grief. But in the meantime, while you guys are getting your questions together, I'm going to start teaching. Let me start with this. If you're here tonight, there's a huge possibility that your heart is broken. It could be from a death, either recent or long ago, or it could be from the breakup of a romantic relationship. It could be from a feeling that your life is just not happy or fulfilling. But whatever brought you to this live, I want you to know this. I'm not going to tell you how you feel. I'm not trying to tell you how you feel. At best I can tell you, I know what it felt like when my loss occurred. I know what it felt like when I had a broken heart. And that's the best that I can tell you. But more than that, I can tell you what I did and how I did it to really move the pain. If you're here, that means you've lost your person. That means your heart is cracked wide open. And maybe the people around you don't get it. And maybe you've been told to be strong more than once. Maybe you've been told to give it time. But whatever platitude you are told, I'm here to work through that tonight. Maybe you've been handed the stages as a grief on a chart. Like you can just walk through denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance, and boom, you'll be back, good as new. Don't worry, girl, you're healed. But I'm here to tell you that that's not grief. That's psychology in a textbook, and that's not what I'm offering you. I'm offering you true brokenness in your heart, looking at it. Why does it feel this way? Why is it that we never taught how to do it? And what can we do about it? And here's the truth. Grief doesn't play by those rules. It never did. It never played by the rules that they have set up for us. So this morning I was breaking down the actual stages, and I'm going to go a little bit deeper than that tonight. Again, this is Ask the Expert. It's Tuesday night. Ask me anything you want. If you want to ask me anything, just post it. You can either post it here in the Facebook Live, or you can post it in the Love My Heart TikTok Live. So I'm glad that you guys are here. I'm glad that you're brave enough to show up, and I think that's absolutely amazing. The fact that you've even shown up shows me so much about you. You guys wouldn't even believe it. Man, I don't even know. This is what I was looking for. This is what I needed when my loss occurred, but I don't know if I'd have the strength to show up like you guys. It's just so cool that you guys show up, that you're doing your work, and that you are here, right? Okay. No, not what I want. I want to share this. Okay. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross she gave us hospice, which is an amazing gift that she gave us as a humankind, an amazing gift. But one of the things that happened when they gave us hospice is that she wrote these 13 stages. The stages were to be used for her. The stages were to be used for her interns, so they could walk in the room and they could see the dying patient, and they could come out and tell her exactly where the dying patient was at that time. Unfortunate for us, one of her students took the stages of grief and attached the stages of death and dying, and attached them to grief. But he only took 5 of them, and that's where we've gotten stuck. For so long, it's where we've gotten stuck. Grief doesn't play by a set of rules. It is not, hey, Carl, I was just thinking about you. How are you doing, my friend? It does not line up in order. It does not line up in order. It is not neat. It doesn't respect stages, and it doesn't expire on a timeline. Grieving is something I carry every day. Thank you for your platform. I find understanding here. Tina, I'm so glad you're here. Tina, can you tell us your person's name? Just their first name, please. Just their first name. It doesn't line up neatly. It doesn't respect stages. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. It doesn't expire on a timeline. Becky, thank you. Leah, everybody, can we tap the screen for Tina and Leah? Hey, Keisha, how's it going? Today is the 16th. How's it going? How you doing? You're off this week. Or you're off tomorrow. Hey, Joanne, how you doing, friend? You're not broken. You are grieving. Let me say that again. You are not broken. You are grieving. Your heart is broken. Your heart is sad. But that part is the part we can go after. You are not broken. You're grieving. So today we're going to talk about what grief actually is. I'm going back to the beginning. Miss Debbie, how are you doing, Miss Debbie? How are you doing today? I want to go back to the beginning where I haven't done this in a while, where I've actually just talked about the actual definition of grief, what grief really is. Tina says she was just 20 years old. She died in a car accident. My heart to yours. Truly, my heart to yours. Hey, Aida. I saw you for 2 seconds today, and now you're back. Glad you're here. We're going to sit in the truth about grief. Grief is a full body experience. Grief is felt from here to the bottom of your toes, to the bottom of your feet. When I tell you you feel grief at the bottom of your feet, it is felt from here all the way down. It is a full body experience. It is a full heart, full life earthquake. You feel it throughout your whole body. We're not going to detach any part of it. When you are a griever, you're feeling it throughout your body. Does that mean that some days might feel okay? Yeah, some days are kind of okay. Some days are kind of okay, but there are a lot of days that are not okay. The day my daughter called screaming, "Mom, I lost Austin," was the day that my life changed. It was the day that my life changed. I really thought someone was going to show up. That's what I was doing this morning. I thought someone was going to show up. They were going to have a roadmap, and they were going to tell me what to do. But that's not what happened. Debbie says she's praying for you, Miss Tina. Let's start with the famous 5 stages. Hey, EK, how you doing? Let's start with the famous 5 stages. You guys, I did a little teaser on this morning, but we're going deeper, okay? So, man, I should have brought this out from somewhere else. We started with the 5 stages this morning. Grief is not 5 stages, and it's not a checklist. So there's not a checklist that we're going to go through. It's not a to-do list. It's not 5 stages. It's not a checklist. These are all of the things that I think that people think that they're going to be able to get through grief. They can go through these 5 stages and they can get through. I got this to-do list. So today I cry, I'm sad, and mad, right? If I do all those things, I'll be through grief. That's not the way it works. I'm not going to go through and check off everything that I have. Grief is a full body experience. You're going to feel it in your entire body. Grief, the most of the grief is coming from your heart. It's coming from your heart. It's coming from this area in your body. Your nervous system is trying to figure out what's going on. So it goes absolutely haywire. The reason that I think a lot of people get stuck on the stages is because they want a neat, nice, clean process. They want to be able to go through it step by step and really get it figured out. And grief doesn't work that way. When you go to a therapist, they'll print you out a little program that says these are the 5 stages. And here's how it's going to go. But here's the thing about the 5 stages. They don't tell you which order they go in, which one's going to come first. When they give you these handouts, they think you're supposed to go through them that way. Tonight is Ask the Experts, guys. I'm going over this, which I had this morning, But if you have a question, please put it in the chat and I will answer that question for you. But grief isn't tidy. It's messy. One day you're furious. The next day you're laughing at a memory, then guilty, and then laughing. Hey, Suzanne. A lot of times you're numb. Sometimes you're sobbing. Sometimes you're pretending that you don't even have grief. Because if you got to get up and go back to work, you don't have time for this. You might go out into your car at lunchtime and cry just so you can get off some of the grief energy. Just because you go out at lunchtime and cry doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. That's grief being grief. That's grief showing up for you. Okay, why am I not accepting it yet? Why am I not accepting it yet? One of the things that we talked about this morning, and I'm going to bring this back and we're going to talk about this today, is that I don't believe acceptance is somewhere we're going to get to. I believe in acknowledgement. I acknowledge that I'm grieving. I acknowledge that Austin is no longer here. Acceptance is not a place that I'm going to get to. And I don't know why. And I believe I do know why, because it is one of the stages. Because it is one of the stages, so many of you think you're going to get to acceptance and that you're going to be there and figure it out. Hold on one second. Oh, please. I'm trying to find it from earlier today. Hold on. Of course, I didn't have my paper ready, so you guys are going to have to hold on for a second. Hold on 1 second. Let me grab some paper. So because one of the stages is acceptance, I think that a lot of us think that we're supposed to get to this acceptance. Plus, people tell us if you just accept that he's gone, it'll help you move on. That's such bullshit. Think about it. How many of you are in here that have absolutely accepted your person is gone? Whether it's divorce, whether it's death, whether it's breakup of a romantic relationship, how many of you are accepting it? Accepting it almost feels like we just roll over. We just accept it and we roll over. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. I haven't accepted that Donovan died. I haven't accepted that my dad died. Now, do I know they're gone? 100%. Am I in denial? No, I am not in denial. I understand that they are gone. I understand that they're not coming back. I understand that for the rest of my life here on earth, I am not going to have them. My dad is not going to be here. Ha ha! He's not going to be my protector. Sorry, guys. I didn't realize I was out of paper. I'm doing my part, you guys, in saving the world. I write on both sides. No, I never cleaned up the whiteboard. All right. Here we go. Apparently, whatever I was doing on that side is really good. Look at that. Okay. Acceptance is one of the stages. And because acceptance is one of the stages, a lot of times people think we're supposed to get to acceptance. Debbie said, acceptance is the place I get stuck. Debbie, let me ask you something. Is it someplace you want to be? Do you want to be at acceptance? Do you want to be at acceptance? Because it's completely up to you. I personally don't ever want to be at acceptance. Hear me out. What happened to me was unfair. What happened to me was wrong. And there's not one person that can come in here and right the wrong that has happened to me. Nobody. Okay, maybe God, maybe Jesus, right? But nobody on this earth that I know is going to be able to come in and give me the acceptance that I need. Has anyone ever told you should be further along? Should you be acknowledgement instead? Yes, I prefer acknowledgement. I prefer acknowledgement instead of acceptance. You know what? I'll do that tomorrow if you guys want. I'll do acknowledgement versus acceptance. I will do that tomorrow. I did a class on that probably 6 months ago, but I'll bring it out. I will reteach it, why it is so different and why it makes such a big difference. The second lie that we're taught. So number one, we're taught is stages. And one of those stages is acceptance. And so that's where we get stuck. The second thing that we're taught is the second lie is that it has a date, an end date. Okay, here's my question. Here's my question. How long should you grieve? How long should you grieve for? How long should a person grieve for? Should you grieve for 3 months? 6 months. A person should grieve for 6 months. Should we grieve for 1 year? Should we grieve for 1 year? Should we grieve for 5 years? Or 20 years? Those are all the answers that I hear. Here's the deal, friends. There's no end date on your grief. There's no end date. There's no end by date for your grief. I doubt that many of us will grieve for 3 months. Here's the other thing. Most therapists after 6 months. Because after 6 months is where you've done a lot of crying and you've got a lot of the grief energy out. And they feel that that's the part that they can start working with you at. Kathy says, acceptance to me means that it's okay. And it will never be okay. I agree with you 100%. What happened to me was not okay. Melinda says, I get told to get over it. I get told to get over it. Honestly, I don't. My brother will be at peace a year tomorrow, and it still feels like it happened yesterday. My heart to yours, Miss Melinda. Miss Melinda, can you tell us his first name so we can send you love? And tomorrow's the anniversary. Give us just his first name. Ale says grieving is forever. It doesn't have an end. That's also not true. Grief has an end, but I don't know when it is. I don't know when it is for you. I don't know when it is going to be for Becky. I don't know when it's going to be for Joanne. I don't know when it's going to be for Debbie. Grief has an end. The pain of grief can come to an end if you go after the pain. The pain of grief is what we go to. So I will get into that in 1 second. So we have stages. The second lie we're told in is a date. Here's the other thing about a date. You guys, I want you to hear this because here's the other thing about a date. The date, his name was Eric. Melinda's brother is Eric. Can we tap the screen for Melinda and for her brother, Eric? The date is put on by them. Society puts the date on. Society puts the date on, and they put it on in a hierarchy. They decide how long you can grieve. This is the jacket part. So if you lost your husband, I think also it depends on, if I look in the book and I read it correctly, it depends on how long you were married. So if you're married 1 to 10 years, society, you get 6 months. If you're married 10 years plus, I'm going to give you 1 year. And don't waste that time because that's all you get. We're the ones who get to say how long you grieve. If you've lost a child, okay, hear me out because this is really important. You guys take this note. If you've lost a child and the child is 0 to 10 years old, we're going to give you 1.5 years. You can cry. You can cry at the party. You can be sad. You can do whatever you need to do, but we're only giving you 1.5 years. But we're going to give you a little bit longer if you need it, especially if the child is young. And if it was tragic, if the child died tragically, which I don't know what child doesn't die tragically, we'll give you a little bit more time. If your child is 10 to 40 years old or more, 6 months. It was grown. He was an adult. He was almost an adult. So we're going to give you less time. If it's a grandparent or a parent, okay, here's the other thing. If it's a parent that dies, if you lose your parent and you are young, you yourself are young, so you are under 18 years old, they're going to give you years. If you lose a parent and you're an adult yourself, 3 to 6 months. This is the bandwidth of what society is going to give you to grieve. Do not go past go. Do not go longer than you need. Do not go longer than we're allowing, because guess what? We get tired of your grief. And when we get tired of your grief, it has to be over. Now, if you lose a grandparent, you should be lucky you had them so long. Period. You should be lucky you had them so long. And they're going to give you 1 month to 3 months. They're going to give you 1 month to 3 months. 1 to 3 months. Now, hear me out, friends. This is what society is saying. Not only that, because some of us have done this to our friends, and we've had these thoughts to our friends. We see that they're still grieving, and we start thinking, man, you should be over this already. Then it happens to us. And we're like, ooh, what was I thinking? Some of us, because this is the rule we've always had, and we're still grieving past 6 months. I lost my husband, and I'm still grieving past 6 months. And it was a rule that I had for my friends, and now I'm still grieving. Now we start putting the pressure on ourselves. The pressure's not coming from society. It's not coming in the world. We're coming from ourselves. Suzanne said, other cultures handle this very differently. You are 100% right, my love. How are you doing today, Miss Suzanne? I don't think it gets easier. I just learned how to grieve in my own time, away from people. Hey, Miss Melinda, no. I think you're grieving away from people because you're under this. They're telling you how long it's going to take. Man, a brother and a sister, if you get 6 months, you're lucky. Especially if that brother or sister was older. People love to hand us deadlines. They hand us deadlines about the holidays and how you're supposed to feel, about how you're supposed to grieve if you go past the first year. They start telling you it's supposed to be easier. And if it's supposed to be easier and you're still grieving, then there's something wrong with you. And when you're not magically healed, you start feeling defective. When you put your own timeline down and you're not living past your own timeline, you start feeling defective. Miss Tina says, I have friends who told me to move on till I told them they have no understanding of what it is to lose a child. Not only that, thank God they don't have any understanding. Thank God you don't understand this. I want to say this to each and every one of you here. This is your grief. It is your grief. It is your grief to do with as you see fit. You get to decide what happens to this grief, not them. You get to decide what happens to your grief. All right. Commercial, guys. My name is Sharon Brubaker. I'm the owner of the Grief School. Every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, we do a class called Grief Study Hall. Today's Grief Study Hall was really amazing. To everybody who's here, who participated, I love you. Thank you for being here. We had a tough conversation today. Thank you, Miss Suzanne. Thank you. We had a tough conversation today. You know what we talked about today? We talked about grieving out loud. Grieving out loud with the current situation. Grieving out loud with politics. Grieving out loud when you're somebody famous. Grieving out loud by posting your person on Facebook and social media. That's what we broke down today. Has the current situation, the current climate caused your grief to be shaken? We broke it down today. People got to talk about it. We got to share. And guess what? We didn't even have a political conversation. And we just talked about grief. And it was amazingly beautiful. And every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, I have a set time. It's Tuesday at 1 o'clock. we have Grief Study Hall. If you would like to join, it is a community outreach. You go to the link in my bio, click on my picture, then click on my picture again, then click on the link that says click here for hope. And there you can sign up for the Grief Study Hall. Everyone handled it amazingly. Yes, Miss Becky, they did. Everybody was respectful. We set the tone and everybody was respectful. Once the first year passes, if you're still grieving, they're going to start looking at you. Melinda says, I'm the baby out of four children. I'm the baby. So you're the youngest. Okay. And he was the second oldest. I lost my brother on 9/17/2024. I lost my mom on 9/28/2004. And my dad on 9/27. Wow, you have a double whammy. This is a tough month for me. Your mom died on 9/28. Your dad died on 9/27. Your brother died on 9/17. Wow, Miss Melinda. My heart to yours, truly my heart to yours. I'm here for you if you need me at all. Wow, that's a tough one. Have a plan for each day. Know what you're going to do before you get there. Know what you're going to do before you get there. To each holiday, you got to have a plan. And just because you have a plan doesn't mean each anniversary. And just because you have a plan to celebrate them doesn't mean you're not going to have pain. EK says it was a good conversation. It was a good conversation. People love to hand out deadlines for our grief. Can you believe it? But this is your grief. You get to decide what happens to it. You get to decide who comes on it. And if you allow somebody to come on, they don't get to take control of it. They don't get to tell you what to do with it. This is your grief. But here's the reality. There are no calendars. There are no time dates to circle as far as the day that you'll feel better. I'm not going to give you a calendar and have you say, oh, open it up. Oh, look right here. Okay, September 25th, 2025, on September 30th, you're going to start feeling better. Because poor Miss Melinda, she got hit. She gets hit in the month of September. She has many anniversaries she's got to get through. We had some really, really great conversations in study hall this past year. Yeah. Thank you, Miss Debbie. Yeah. And hey, here's the truth. They're not all through the sky, but sometimes I walk away and I'm like, wow. I come to grief study hall prepared with a lesson. Sometimes one sentence and we're off that lesson and we're flying. It's wherever you guys needed to go. Here's what grief study hall is. Think of the grief school. What was study hall when you were a kid and you were in school? Study hall is a place where and this is where we're going to start leading it towards. It's a place where you get help. It's a place where you get help. I'm going to teach a lesson and then I want to answer questions. I want to answer questions for you. That's what study hall is. But the thing that's so amazing is we come together as women who are really sharing their broken hearts. Grief doesn't respect anniversaries, Miss Melinda. It doesn't say, okay, your year is up and you're done now. Check, check, get it off the calendar. It doesn't say that. Grief hits in waves, and sometimes the second and third year can be worse than the first. The second and third year can be worse than the first. Sometimes the third year will blindside you because you didn't realize it was coming. I want to explain that a little bit deeper. My dad's 1-year anniversary of passing is next year. I know I'm sad and I can't cry. You don't have to cry, but you have to have a plan. You need to have a plan. How are you going to celebrate that? What are you going to do? Are you going to go out and have some of his favorite wings? Are you going to go to his favorite restaurant? Are you going to call some friends and hang out with them? Are you going to do something Dad would like? David! How are you, my friend? Hey, David. Are you going to call friends that you would like? Are you going to, you guys, David is one of my friends. Love you. I love you more, David. Love you more, my friend. Are you going to, David tried to get me to go live for forever, you guys. He's the first one that showed me how to do it. He's like, Sharon, just get on there and start talking. But I was scared. Remember that, David? but I'm doing it. Look at me. Look at me doing it. Our grief is so different, but we all understand. That's exactly it. Our grief is totally different. Everyone's grief is totally different, but we understand it. Thank you, David. We understand it. David knows she's a pro. And now look at you impacting lives. Yes. He's like, Sharon, you can do it. And you just have to do this one. I was like, I don't know. I love that guy. I love him to death. Thank you, David. Yes. And now we're impacting lives. Sometimes the third year blindsides you, and I'll tell you why. Because you can fake the funk through the first year. You can almost fake the funk through the second year. But sometimes either the second year or the third year, the reality that they're not coming back really does hit you. And you get to that third anniversary and you're like, what the hell just happened to me? They're really not coming back. And it's almost like this. She's not coming back. She's not coming back. She's absolutely not coming back. I have a beautiful, beautiful client who honestly believed her person was going to come back on year 3, on day 3, on month 3, and then on year 3, because Jesus rose on the 3rd day. And she had in her mind that on the 3rd day, 3rd something. And when the 3rd year anniversary hit, it absolutely floored her. Because sometimes that thought that they're coming back on the 3rd day is playing quietly in the back of our brain, and we don't hear it. Jesus rose on the 3rd day. She's coming back. Jesus rose on the 3rd day. Miss Hope says, I just hit the 1-year mark and I feel like that now. You feel like he's coming back, Miss Hope? Or you feel like the reality that he's really not coming back has just hit you? When I tell you guys that is a real thing, that is a real thing. Here's the other thing. Even though I'm saying it right now, the reality. Yeah, my heart to yours, Miss Hope. Truly, my heart to yours. Even though you hear me saying it and I'm talking about the reality, if it comes up for you, just go with it. Ask yourself, why are you here right now? What is causing the struggle? Why does this hurt so bad? Grief hits in waves, and sometimes the 2nd and 3rd year can be harder. Grief isn't based on time. It's pain-based. And if you stuff the pain down and you pretend like everything is okay, and you're pretending, and sometimes that pretending is subtle. It's not really that big. It's just like, well, Jesus rose on the 3rd day. It's something as simple as that. I had a client a few years ago who believed that when you get to heaven, you get to have a choice whether to come back to earth or stay in heaven. And when her husband didn't come back, he betrayed her. Friends, hear me out. I don't know where our brain is going to take us. I don't know what intellectual thoughts we are going to have about grief. But sometimes we have these intellectual thoughts about grief and we just go with them. But they're whispering in the background. You can't really hear them because they're not yelling. And you really start to believe them. I made it through year 1. I was hoping it was almost over. It's like I made it through the 1st year and now I have to do it again. It's real. Miss Hope, I think I would be right there. I think that would be me. Like, it's really real. I got to do this. Pamela says she made it through the 1st year. She was hoping it was almost over. That's what a lot of us do, is that we hold on. We hold on to year 1, but there's no calendar. Right up at the calendar. There's no calendar telling us when it's over. There's no due date on it. There's no timeline. There's no due date. There's no due date. You see here, it doesn't say anywhere on here, grief ends. It doesn't say that. Our culture believes you come back as a different person. Yeah, a lot of cultures believe that. Thank you, Aida. Christiane says, I just want to heal this grief hurt. hurt now. You're in the right place, my love. And I would suggest the best place for you to start is Grief Study Hall and coming to the lives. You don't make it through grief because the pages have fallen off the calendar. You don't make it through grief because you've scratched off all of those dates. Grief isn't time-based, it's pain-based. When are you going to start going after the pain? When do you start moving the pain? You move through it when you actually face the heartbreak. So the real betrayal isn't grief. The real betrayal is the people who told you that in time it would heal. The real betrayal is your mind believing that at the end of 1 year, the pain was going to be gone. The real betrayal is believing that time was going to heal it. How many months has it been for you? Each of you, how many months have you? And what is one way that people are putting a timeline on your grief? What is one way that they are checking a timeline for you? Okay, the third way. So grief is in stages. It's not a timeline. Then what is it? Grief is reality. 16 months, Suzanne. 16 months? Oh man, 16 months. I can't believe that. 16 months. Debbie, 15 months. Vicky, 5 months. EK, 5.5 months. Joanne says, year 1, numb. Year 2, reality. But years 1 and 4 months. 1 year numb. Year 2, reality. Okay. Tina says 5 months. Next week will be 12 months. Jennifer says 3 months. Becky says 10 months. 10.5 months. Sarah says 9. Keisha says it will be 1 year on Thursday. Keisha, everybody, can we tap the screen for Keisha? This is a tough week for her. We want to send her some love. Thank you, Miss Keisha. Melinda says, I keep saying it's a dream and he's coming back. Tap the screen for Miss Keisha. It's just reality. So grief is in stages, is in timeline. Grief is reality. It's waking up every morning to a world without your person. That's painful. It's your body. It's your body aching, your mind fogging over, your emotions ricocheting. It's the silence in the house. The silence in the house that screams louder than the noise. Grief is your nervous system in shock. It's your chest clamping down, your stomach twisting in a knot, your brain forgetting everything. It's your heart saying that this mattered. Don't you know this mattered? Your heart trying to tell the world that this mattered. And the cruelest trick of grief is that while the world stops, while your world has stopped, everything else keeps spinning. People are going to work. They're driving their cars. They're buying groceries. Wait, check this out. They're eating. I'm having a hot flash like none other. They're eating. They're going out to dinner. They haven't stopped. But your world is stopped right there in the spot. I remember I'd be walking into places and I wanted to scream because people, they're sleeping. They're living their life. Joanne said 16 months. I wrote 1 year and 4 months. Okay, 16 months. That's no time. That's no time. The world, people go to work, they buy groceries, they're getting Starbucks, and you're standing here thinking, don't they know? This is exactly what I said. Don't they know my nephew just died? Don't they know that I'm broken down? Don't you know that I'm broken? I can't do this. Why are you still living? Why are you still breathing? Come here. Come and see me. Know that I'm in pain. It's grief. It's raw. It's brutal, and it's ugly. Miss Suzanne says the irony is the clock stopped that day, and yet time keeps passing. Your clock stops. Vicky says it shattered. It absolutely shatters. But the world keeps moving. The clock of the world keeps moving. Grief is not a problem to be solved. It's a pain to be faced. You got to face it. And here's the hope. This is the hope that I want to give you. The grief pain, the pain in your heart, is not forever. Your life is forever changed. You will miss your person for the rest of your life, and that I can guarantee you. But the suffering attached to that love does not have to last forever. Hear me out. I'm going to say it again. The suffering attached to that love does not have to last forever. Kathy said it's been 16 months, and Melinda said 1 year tomorrow. Melinda says, I keep saying it's a dream, and he's coming back all the time. My heart to yours, love. You will always miss them. You will always miss your person. But the suffering attached to that love does not have to last forever. That's the part we go after, and that's the part we break down. But first, you need to understand what it is that is causing that pain. Healing doesn't mean you're going to forget your person. Doesn't mean it's going to go away. Healing means carrying their memory without collapsing every time something happens to you. Suzanne says the pain will subside when you do the work. Miss Suzanne has done a lot of work. She's done a lot of work on her grief. It means you laugh without feeling guilty. It means you eat their favorite chicken wings and you smile. It means you see someone's blue eyes that remind you of them. My heart to yours, love. And you cry and you're okay. And you know, you remember that you missed them today. It means you live a life where you honor them without staying destroyed. Where is your grief in your body right now? Where does it live? Does it live in your chest? Is it in your stomach? Is it in your throat? Where is your grief in your body right now? Where are you feeling it most? Do you feel it here in your throat? Do you feel it in your stomach? Jennifer says in her chest and in her head. Miss Becky said in her chest. Vicky says it's in her chest. We can feel it in our back. Miss Sarah said in her eyes. Teach Peace says in her lungs. Miss Hope says in my shoulders and in my back. Chest and shoulders, says EK. Joanne says chest. Keisha says chest. Chest and the back of my neck. Emma says stomach, chest, neck, back, and shoulders. Stitch says I feel it in my heart and stomach. Aida says neck, back, and chest. Debbie says chest and back, chest and back. And we can feel it in our face, especially when it starts to come down the front of our face. Throat and chest. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. If grief is in stages and it's not timeline, then where do we go from here? Stop trying to fit your grief into someone else's chart. That's where you go. Stop trying to go by the rules that society has laid out for you. Stop apologizing for not being further along. Stop apologizing for crying. Cry, for Christ's sakes. Stop waiting for time to do the work. Start doing the work. Start now. Start going after it. Start facing the heartbreak. Start talking about it. Today's conversation was really good. It was really good. Listen, everybody was in there. We were all grieving. But these are parts that we have to talk about. we talked about social media, and Becky shared with us how Facebook has changed as far as alerting someone when someone has died. Like, we all broke that down today. We started showing up with our broken hearts. That is why I created the space of Grief Study Hall. I know there's so many of you saying, please put it at night, please put it at night. And I tried it, but here's the truth. The women that are coming steadily to Grief Study Hall, I was driving them crazy. It's Tuesday at 1. I'm going to be bringing out some other classes, but Grief Study Hall will say Tuesday at 1. I will sit down with you. No cliches, no timelines. I want to break it down for you. So here's how you get it. To get into Grief Study Hall, you click in the link, click on my picture again, and then click on the link that says click here for hope. And there you can sign up for Grief Study Hall. If you are in the Facebook group, you go to the description of tonight's class and just click on the link that says Beacons AI. And there you can sign up there. Yes, Miss Keisha, it's time. It's time, Miss Keisha. If grief is real heavy, my chest gets tight and I can't breathe. Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah. Stitch says amen. My mind, my shoulders, my mind, my shoulders, and my chest. Having grief thoughts? For sure. Friends, this is grief. What you're describing to me is grief. I'm going to say it again. There are no stages. Acceptance is not a place that I'm going to get you to, and it's not a place that I teach. There are no timelines. There's just this reality, and the reality hurts like hell. There's just this reality, and the reality hurts like hell. You will always miss your person. Hear me out. Miss Debbie and I were talking about this today. I want Sharon to be here. I want her to be here. I want her to be here on earth with me. But she's not. And I've acknowledged that she's not here. But it doesn't break me down. It doesn't completely break me down. I miss her. And I long for her. And there are moments, man, that I wish she was absolutely here. There are a lot of times that I say, I need you. But that absolutely breaking down, I don't do that anymore. I don't do that. I look up at the sky and I'm like, you know I need you. You know you need to fix this. Grief is no stages, no timelines, just this stinky reality. You will always miss your person. You will always love them. But you don't have to live this broken. You don't have to live this broken for the rest of your life. You, my friends, were not given a life sentence. Come to Grief Study Hall. You do not have to open your screen. You do not have to come up on the Zoom. You can stay behind your name. You can stay behind the name of iPhone. You don't even have to put your name in there. This is where we tell the truth together. And when we're ready, we share. We share about how to process grief, what it feels like, because grief is real, but so is healing. Grief is real, but so is healing. And the only way that we can really start going after the grief is to start working on it, my friends. Sarah says, Grief Study Hall is amazing. I wish I could make it. Thank you, Miss Sarah. Thank you. I felt uncomfortable in study hall today. I'm sorry, Joanne. It was a weird topic. It was a weird topic. And sometimes we're going to have those. I was trying to have it be about grief and not go into politics. So for sure. Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that, because not every grief study hall are you going to walk away from feeling 100. Like, you're not going to get everything that you came there looking for. Sometimes the message is going to be for somebody else, but you still are going to learn. You're going to learn even if the message doesn't pertain to you. What if you come to Grief Study Hall and all we talk about is losing a child and you haven't lost a child? You're still a griever. You're still a grieving woman. You're still a grieving woman with a broken heart. Oh, okay. I get it. Absolutely. Well, you did the right thing. You did the absolute right thing. If someone's story is triggering, then leaving and coming back is the right thing to do. My heart to yours, Miss Joanne. My heart to yours. All right. Hold on, TikTok. I'm going to stay in for a little bit longer and see if you guys have any questions. To Facebook. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to share this story tonight. I will be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. I will be live tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. I'm going to do a little teaser. I'll be in both places tomorrow morning. And tomorrow, we're going to talk about the difference between acceptance and acknowledgement. That's what we decided we're going to do. So tomorrow, we're going to talk about the difference between acceptance and acknowledgement. I'm going to break it down for you. Okay? I'm going to pull out that class and teach it again. I love you all. I'm glad you're here. Hold on, TikTok. I'll be right back.